Because being the greatest of all time is not just about winning. And that's what Jon Jones doesn't understand. It's about how you conduct yourself throughout the whole of your career. Are you willing?
But I believe he should fight against Aspinall, but I think he's a little bit afraid of him, you know, because Aspinall is someone who can really stop him.
Yeah, I mean,
right after Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones were involved in a brief altercation at a U.S. airport, Aspinall has now spoken out publicly about the incident. He declared that following his upcoming fight with Ciryl Gane, he's ready to face Jon Jones. "I have nothing against you personally," Aspinall said, "but I just think I'm better than you. I know I can beat you in a fight." So
in my head, I would have said Jon Jones will beat him. Jon Jones will beat him right now. Guess what? Tom has never been pushed into those championship rounds. Once he gets to those championship rounds, even now, say Ciryl Gane pushes him 25 minutes. If he beats Ciryl Gane, but he learns to go 25 minutes where that first time you feel that, yo, Tom hasn't got nothing to do for a third round. We saw that.
This comes after months of uncertainty surrounding the UFC heavyweight division, and Tom Aspinall has made it clear he disagrees with UFC's current plan to book Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic instead. "If you're the champion, prove it. I'm ready," Aspinall stated, "but first, I have to deal with Ciryl."
I think he's good.
He could beat Jon. He could beat Jon.
That's a far. See, Jon has always been my favorite fighter to watch because I felt like any person he fought, he can do whatever he wanted to them. Granted, Jon is older, so, you know, if he gets to Stipe, which I think he will, he's going to get through another training camp, right? Because the body's, you know, getting older and older. It doesn't, you know.
Israel Adesanya has publicly questioned Jon Jones's intentions, highlighting recent behavior that contradicts any claims of retirement. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Adesanya asked, "Why was Jon at that event in Russia if he's not fighting? Anymore, why is he flying across the world to show up ringside at a combat event?" He added that such actions don't align with someone stepping away from competition. According to Adesanya, Jones is closely watching the division and may already be involved in negotiations. "You don't just fly across the world if you're not involved anymore."
Why is that fight not happening? Well, it could be for two reasons. It's either that Jon Jones is using a strategy to have more money. You could say, just go for it.
Come on, but what you want to say?
If he has no intention of coming back, that's not right. Make negotiation happen, or, you know, get things moving.
Doesn't seem
This
like
comment
Jon.
came just days after Jon Jones was spotted attending a high-profile combat sports event in Russia. The unannounced visit drew attention due to its timing, coinciding with the UFC finalizing Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane for the interim heavyweight title. Several sources at the event reported that Jones engaged in private conversations with individuals connected to various MMA promotions. While nothing concrete has emerged from those discussions, his presence in Russia with his recent silence has fueled speculation. Responding to the situation, Joe Rogan criticized the UFC's matchmaking on his podcast, saying, "You've got Tom Aspinall, who's maybe the most talented heavyweight I've ever seen, and you're pairing him with Ciryl Gane, who's already lost to Jones and Ngannou. That's not what fans want."
If they would have fought, then you think that Tom had a strong chance because of the timing.
Yeah.
And fighting's always about timing. Boxing,
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think for the speed, the power that carries, the way he moves in there, it would have gave Jon Jones problems, but it would have been a good fight.
So there's no ducking from Jon Jones.
No.
No ducking.
No.
We're not saying that.
I'm not saying that.
We're not having it.
Nah, definitely.
Too much respect for Jon Jones, the GOAT of UFC. Is it fair to say he's the GOAT?
Yeah,
of UFC?
Rogan has also made it clear who he believes should be next in line, stating, "If Jon's not fighting, just strip him. Let Aspinall be champ. If Jon wants back in, he fights Aspinall. That's it. Stop this interim nonsense. Nobody believes it anymore." His comments reflect a growing frustration among both fans and fighters, especially with the UFC's ongoing silence about Jones's next move. Adding to the conversation, Khabib Nurmagomedov shared his perspective during a recent interview in Dagestan, saying, "Jon Jones is not done. I know he's still training, he just needs the right moment." Khabib praised Aspinall but hinted that Jones is still active behind the scenes, concluding, "You will see this is not a man who disappears, he is waiting. The UFC needs to handle
shot, knockout power. I believe that would make Tom Aspinall hesitate a little bit. And look, Tom would be the favorite in that fight. But if you don't think Derek Lewis has a shot to shut Tom Aspinall's lights out and steal that belt, not only be the knockout king, but add undisputed heavyweight world champion to his list, there's nothing more he needs. That would be the absolute fight to make for Tom Aspinall while he waits for the UFC White House card and hopefully gets Jon Jones after that. Now, again, it's easier to talk about getting a fight with Derek Lewis than it is to actually win it, especially.
UFC President Dana White has avoided making direct comments about Jon Jones, choosing instead to focus on promoting the upcoming Aspinall versus Gane matchup. When asked about Jones's timeline during a recent media scrum, White simply responded, "We're working on things. Nothing I can announce right now." This vague answer has only fueled speculation, particularly since Jones remains the official champion despite having no active booking and no public updates on his injury rehab since his last surgery.
Do you think he's ducking Tom Aspinall?
No. Jon Jones, I said it a million times, I'll say it again. He's never ducked anybody other than that one goofy time with the Chael Sonnen thing. He's never ducked anybody. And, I think the reality is whatever changed his mind with this fight, I don't know, you'd have to ask him that. But, he's 38 years old, and I don't know.
Back in Russia, Jon Jones didn't speak to the media but posed for photos and mingled with event organizers. Several insiders reported that he engaged in private discussions about fight promotion models, talent development, and global markets. While these talks don't confirm a departure from the UFC, they clearly show his ongoing interest in the business side of combat sports. All of this adds to the growing narrative surrounding Jones and the heavyweight division. With Tom Aspinall now set to face Ciryl Gane, many in the MMA community believe the UFC is positioning itself for a future unification bout, whether officially stated or not. And although Jones has yet to commit to a return date, the optics of his international travel and the growing commentary from figures like Joe Rogan, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Israel Adesanya suggest the pressure is mounting.
Timeline of John accepted the fight, went to Thailand, came back, didn't want the fight. What happened?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Thailand was the end of it. We were talking about it before that. But yeah, the fight was done. We had the fight done a long time ago. So
Rogan's critique didn't stop at matchmaking. He also questioned the legitimacy of Jon Jones holding the title without any activity. You can't just be a placeholder champion. The belt has to mean something. If you're out for a year with no fight scheduled, that's not fair to the division, he said. Khabib Nurmagomedov echoed the sentiment but kept a respectful tone, stating, "Jon is one of the greatest, but if he doesn't fight soon, the division needs a new king. That's the way sport works." Israel Adesanya, however, was more direct. If Jon really wants to go out on top, he should fight the best stand right now. "That's Tom. You can't just hold on to the belt and expect everyone to wait. This is not the old UFC fans."
Yeah, you live in that division.
I also never beat him.
Yeah.
And I had, no matter what I did going forward, it was always that, well, you never beat Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall is going to get that belt, and there's going to be a gap, right? That lineal championship breaks. That line breaks. When Tom goes from interim to champion.
Tension is also impacting fighter rankings and momentum, with Tom Aspinall's stock rising steadily thanks to public endorsements. Khabib called him a problem for anyone, while Joe Rogan described him as complete a heavyweight as we've ever had. Meanwhile, Ciryl Gane is increasingly being viewed as a stepping stone rather than a legitimate threat. Despite his high ranking, at the center of it all is Jon Jones, publicly silent, privately active, and politically engaged. While no fight has been announced, the landscape around him continues to shift. UFC insiders suggest Jones isn't expected to return before December, with UFC 300 being floated as the earliest realistic target. Still, there's no signed bout agreement, no training footage, and no official word from Jones's
Jon Jones
camp.
finally wants to fight Tom Aspinall, but this time at the White House. I told you guys that Jon Jones was playing chess, not checkers, this entire time. Someone just tweeted this at Jon Jones saying, "Ducking Tom Aspinall, ? Best decision you ever made, ? Jon responded, "Choosing when to attack and where you want the battlefield to be is not ducking, my friend." I tried telling every single one of you that Jon Jones was never ducking Tom Aspinall. Very clear here that Jon Jones...
This vacuum has opened the door for widespread commentary, with former fighters, analysts, and insiders now openly questioning whether Jon Jones is facing leverage issues with the UFC. Some speculate that his return is being delayed by financial demands, while others believe he may be planning a larger move, such as transitioning into global fight promotion. In the meantime, the UFC is maneuvering through the uncertainty by booking Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane, securing the immediate future of the heavyweight division without officially removing Jones from the equation. As one UFC matchmaker put it, "It's easier to let the division play out than to strip Jon and create unnecessary drama. We're giving him time, but there is a clock."
Rogan saying that he is supporting the idea of Pereira versus Aspinall. We know Aspinall will do it. He already tried at 300. We know Pereira will do it. He has a chance to set history. Champ is not likely to ever happen to any of us. Again, there's a really big population that wants to see Jon Jones versus Pereira. There's a really big population that would rather see Jon Jones versus Aspinall. The winner of Ankalaev and Raychik is going to take on Pereira. Okay, whatever your level of excitement for that is going to be. Still does not equal how badly you would like to see Pereira take it on.
Opinion is also shifting, with MMA forums and comment sections increasingly siding with Tom Aspinall. Many fans argue that he deserves to be recognized as the undisputed champion and that Jon Jones should have to earn his way back. Others believe Jones is avoiding risk, possibly waiting to see how Aspinall performs before making a move. If true, this strategy wouldn't be new. Jones has a history of delaying returns until favorable matchups present themselves. He waited over 3 years before moving up to heavyweight, eventually debuting against Ciryl Gane, a fighter many considered stylistically favorable.
Retired.
And Jon Jones is going to do that fight.
He went back into the testing pool. But Tyler and I debated because he hasn't fought in 4 freaking years.
Yeah. I would still pick him over whoever they would
Aspinall's
charge.
been screwed.
Right. Well, Aspinall's
He waits for his
now. Right.
Yeah, he's the champ, but he hasn't played.
No, but I would assume that if Aspinall is successful and wins once or twice going into 26,
that context now fuels growing skepticism. Many believe that if Aspinall wins decisively over Gane, Jon Jones will delay his return even further. But if Gane pulls off an upset, Jones might be more willing to come back. Regardless, Israel Adesanya, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Joe Rogan all seem to agree the current situation is unsustainable. As Khabib put it, the division can't stop. The belt must move. Whoever fights, fights. But someone must be champion and fight twice a year. This is the UFC, not Hollywood. Rogan was even more blunt. This is a mess. Either strip him or schedule him. But don't pretend he's still champion when he's doing business meetings in Russia and not training. While the UFC hasn't officially committed to either direction, the timeline is tightening. Aspinall versus Gane is set for later this year, and whoever wins will likely call out Jones inside the octagon. If Jones doesn't respond by early 2026, the pressure to name the winner as the undisputed champion may become impossible to ignore.
So they've announced this White House UFC fight. Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have a very strong feeling that I'll be.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take out whoever's holding the belt in the year.
Any possible names you think?
But I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall. We'll see who's the champion at the end of the year.
For now, the UFC is walking a tightrope, promoting rising talent while trying to preserve the legacy of a veteran. But fans, fighters, and even commentators are no longer playing along. They want clarity. And with Adesanya, Rogan, and Khabib all pointing in the same direction, that clarity may come sooner than expected. In response to mounting criticism over his UFC heavyweight title reign, Jon Jones has defended the trajectory of his career. The former light heavyweight champion, who moved up and claimed the vacant heavyweight title in early 2023, has faced growing backlash over his extended injury layoff, lack of title defenses, and the UFC's controversial booking choices.
I'm as big a Jon Jones fan as anybody, and I've always defended he's not afraid of Tom. He's willing to fight anybody. It's hard to not fall into that narrative here, though. To me, fighting in the White House, that doesn't do it. But maybe I'm a different person, maybe everybody looks at it different. For me, if you tell me they're going to have a fight at the White House, cool, all right, it'd be cool to do it. If not,
but Jon Jones isn't entertaining the notion that his legacy has been diminished. In his own words, he believes he simply outsmarted the UFC. Speaking to MMA media, Jones made it clear that his current situation is by design. Don't hate because I outsmarted the UFC, he said. They gave me the belt. I didn't beg for it. I won the fight. I became champion, and now I'm doing what's best for me. His tone was calm but pointed, directly addressing critics who claim he's avoided top contenders like Tom Aspinall or that the division has moved on without him. People are mad because they thought I'd get smashed. I didn't get smashed, Taiwan. And now I'm sitting on top of the mountain.
I understand you don't want to talk about it. Do you believe that maybe outside of Jon Jones, you versus Tom is probably the biggest fight in this division?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
This comes after several months of speculation surrounding the state of the UFC's heavyweight division. Jon Jones captured the title by submitting Ciryl Gane in the first round back in March 2023, but hasn't fought since, having been sidelined by a pectoral injury that forced him out of a planned bout against Stipe Miocic later that year. Rather than stripping Jones of the belt, the UFC introduced an interim title, which Tom Aspinall claimed by knocking out Sergey Pavlovich. Since then, pressure has steadily mounted for a unification bout, but Jones remains firm in his stance that he wants to face Miocic, not Aspinall. He has consistently emphasized that Miocic, not Aspinall, is the opponent who adds the most to his legacy. Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time, Jones said. He deserves that shot. He's not some kid just barking for attention. This is a man who defended the belt more than anyone.
Not happening. Well, it could be for two reasons. It's either that Jon Jones is using a strategy to have more money, Go for it. What you want to say? I think that's why he's doing it. You know, if he's doing it just to hold the title, to serve the.
Dana White said the last thing Dana said was Kyle was asking him what would be his dream card, and he said Jones versus Aspinall, Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. He thought that would be the perfect one. And the guy started talking about this, Kyle, me. And Dana goes, the UFC landscape will have changed by then. We got a whole year. Hey, initially we thought this was just a...
Jones has remained dismissive without being outright disrespectful. I see he's talented, he admitted. But I've been doing this for 15 years. When I was fighting legends, he was still working his way up. People want to rush greatness. Let the kid fight a few more times. Let him build something, then maybe we can talk. Former opponents of Jones have also weighed in. Dominic Reyes, who went 5 hard rounds with Jones in a razor-close decision loss in 2020, recently shared his thoughts, saying he believes Jones is playing it safe but still considers him the top man. John always did things on his own terms, Reyes said. I get why people are frustrated, but he's not afraid. He's calculating and he's earned that right. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel *** for more updates and breaking MMA news. Thank you.